Hello, it is I, ToadBoiGaming, joined by...
Ethereal Broly.
Exactly. Hey, so today we got a new series here for you guys called the Is It Worth It series. We'll be doing this every update from now on, starting from update 16.5. I hope you guys are excited for it. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, turn notifications on, and without further ado, let's get right into it. Welcome everybody to Is It Worth It? The film video series where Ethereal and I go ahead and rate units in anime adventures that come out in the current update. Now Ethereal, could you explain how we're rating these units?
So overall, they're going to get put into about 4 categories. The first one being power, which is, just damage overall, like how good is the unit in terms of like stats. Then you have visuals, which is, the animations, the effects, the character model, the cosmetics.
Basically how it looks.
The last, yeah. And then we have use, which is overall meta relevance. If it's good in infinite versus story mode, is the cost to damage ratio good? And then finally, just the overall rating of that unit.
Now, we do want to say that this is very heavily based on our DPM list that we're showing you guys. It's always in the descriptions of our videos, and it's also kind of based on our opinions, especially on the visual category. But when we give you guys the overall rating, it will be very heavily based on relevance in the game, and not just because we like the specific units or because we think the unit looks cool with visuals, because that would be kind of unfair if we just put our favorite units up there. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with episode 1. The first unit that we are going to be ranking today in the Is It Worth It series is none other than Koichi. He is the new, what do we call him, like hybrid-ish unit that came out with the update. Of course, that is not what we're going to be focusing on. We're going to be focusing on 3 different categories: power, visual, and use. So first and foremost, when it comes to power, Koichi is kind of good. Koichi's kind of good. Now there's one thing that makes him kind of good, and that is the fact that Koichi is a hybrid. So if we go here to this DPN list that we have here, Koichi Echoes ranks at 46th, and his group DPM is 3.5 million. And although that's a lot of damage, compared to the number 1 unit Usopp at 12 million, it really isn't that much. So I feel like Koichi's power currently and his strength is kind of mid. Power alone, Koichi isn't really that strong. I would think Koichi in power turns from F to SS being the highest you can get. I feel like Koichi is a B+ tier.
I agree. I feel like that's fair.
Yeah, Koichi's a B+ tier. He's 46 on the list, but there's also 180 units. So I feel like Koichi is definitely one of the top tier units when it comes to power, but he's definitely not meant to be a power unit. Going back to Koichi once again, looking at his visuals. Well, here he is right now, Koichi Sniper. Honestly, you know what the first thing I told you was? What is my favorite anime?
Your favorite anime isn't it Bleach?
Dragon Ball Z. So,
oh yeah.
Didn't I tell you Koichi looks like he's from Dragon Ball Z?
You did say that.
Yeah, his hair. I actually really like how Koichi looks. I'm not gonna lie, his outfit looks clean. I have him equipped right here, as you guys can see. He looks pretty cool. He does get his stand when his evoed. So visually, pretty well-made unit. Nothing too crazy with his look. But let's go ahead and take a look at his attack animations here. So if you guys have already seen these videos, go check them out. But, oh gosh, why is the quality so low? All right, here we are over there. There's Koichi's first attack. That's cool. You see that? That's like really high quality. I don't know. I feel like that
I like
first attack
seeing all
is
the
cool.
kanji.
The
Yeah.
kanji looks so cool. Like, it's very neon-y. It looks very nice and well made. The slow effect animation that he gets here is really cool. And then, of course, we get the next move for Koichi, where he goes ahead and summon his second form of the stand. Not gonna lie, to me, that one's kind of lackluster. It's just him. He spins, and then has the kanji again. You know, it's okay. It's okay. It's not the worst. It's not the best. But then Echo's Act 3 is the third attack that Koichi gets. And honestly, I feel like this attack animation is pretty cool. Look at that. That's a pretty cool attack animation. Now, it doesn't seem like much is happening there, but if you guys, like, we'll get to his, like, what he does in just a moment, but, like, that little green aura thing, and he knocks them down to the ground, and all the kanji shows up. I feel like that's a pretty cool looking animation. I'm also kind of biased when it comes to this color green, because I think it looks really nice. What do you think of these visuals?
I think they're pretty solid. The first one's like dope looking. The second one's It's kind of whatever. 3 freeze looks, you know, it looks cool.
Okay,
but I
right?
wouldn't I wouldn't really say it's like sick, but it's pretty nice.
I agree with that. So, going back to Koichi, we gotta give him a final ranking for his visuals. If it was literally just his first attack for all 3 of his attacks, I think I would like that better than what it is. You know what I mean? Like, that first attack looks so cool. I don't know. Koichi sets the bar for the visuals.
I think
I'm biased with Koichi, but go ahead. You give your ranking.
You said S or SS?
SS is the highest. F is the minus. I'm gonna go ahead and say C.
Yeah, I would give it like a B minus or a C.
C plus, meet in the middle.
Yeah.
All right, I agree. I think as much as I like Koichi and I'm very biased towards him, there's some units in this game that have insane visuals. And one of those units is actually in this video, so I'm really excited you guys can see that later. All right, last but not least, we have the meta/use relevancy.
Oh boy. Okay. Meta relevance. That's a very simple thing to answer. Is he meta relevant? 100%.
Yes.
100%.
Yes. When we saw his unevoed version, I actually said he is so bad. We evolved him, and he is so good. What makes him so good?
The fact that he has an 80% slow.
On Evo.
On Evo. Yeah.
It's crazy. He slows 80%. And, well, like, if we're going to talk about meta relevancy, where you can use him, you can use him everywhere. Everywhere. You can take him on the new raids. You can take him on leaderboard runs if you don't have an Amelia, you know? You can take him on your story mode. If you're a new to Pro account and you just got Koichi, congratulations. You can actually Evo Koichi if you just join random people's raids. Koichi's relevance, top tier. I think it's time we give him a rating. What do we give him?
For meta relevance alone, probably like it would be around S because
S minus.
Because like for reference, like for everyone who doesn't know, like Emilia's slow, which is the go-to slow, is 60%, and then Koichi's 80. So the slow is definitely better, but he is
For placement,
AoE.
and he's circle.
That is the only like downside, I guess. He does have a 12 range.
It's the same size as
AoE.
Amelia's range, yeah. So like the circle doesn't even matter at that point. So honestly, I agree. Koichi's relevancy / use, I'd say probably I'm gonna give him S tier. S tier.
Yeah.
Yeah, not SS, but definitely S tier, very up in the list. Just taking a quick look at Koichi Echoes, his cost is 55,000 to max out. That's pretty cheap.
That's very cheap.
And then he does like a lot of damage to 100,000 damage. We're putting him in that S tier for a reason, guys. Infinite modes, yes, you'll use him everywhere. We were saying, probably even more than Amelia at this point with that 80% slow that he has. So that is why Koichi definitely belongs in an S tier use. And now for the moment of truth, what are we rating our Koichi overall?
Overall, an A.
An A?
I think an A is a safe bet. Now, doesn't mean that like he's like mid because he's not like triple S, you know. If you think triple S unit, that's like Eins, you know. That's like tippity top. But for a slow unit, you know, just going by slow, definitely Koichi's like high S, SS around that area. But in general, as a whole, I think like an A is valid.
A very solid unit from this update, in other words. So Koichi belongs in the A category. And now we get to move on to the second unit. The second unit that we're going to be focusing on for this video of Is It Worth It is going to be none other than Josuke, well, the Unbreakable. Josuke is literally the main character from this part of JoJo's, guys. So I've got some pretty high hopes for him, or, well, at least I did. And you guys are going to find out why my hopes are kind of down. Anyways, let's go ahead and start out with Josuke's first category, the Power category. Josuke Unbreakable ranks in at number 27th on our DPM list in order of group DPM. Etheria, what does that mean?
It means he's solid, you know. He's not really outstanding, but he's, how do you say this? He's kind of mid. I think that's the
Power
way to put
alone, though, if we look at level 100 units, Power alone, he's really strong. Power alone, he ranks in at literally like 11th, you know, at level 100 base stats. But his SPA is kind of high, so that kind of throws things off, and he's a little bit expensive, and he's not hybrid, so yeah, I mean, I'd say he's kind of mid. But if we go back to like Koichi, who we just talked about, I feel like his power is still better than Koichi.
Oh, for sure. He outdamages Koichi by a long shot. His SBA is kind of you know, compared to some of these other units. But, you know, he's not a terrible unit. Compared to some others, he's actually fairly cheap.
That's very true.
For 3 placement, 76,000 is,
yeah, I see
really
117,000, 125,000. That's really, yeah, a solid cost. So in terms of power alone in that category, what are we giving Josuke?
I think around an B+ to A-, because he does numbers. He's definitely one of the more stronger units in the game, but there is stronger units, you know.
I think in terms of power, he deserves an A. We gave Koichi a B+. In terms of power, I think in terms of power alone, raw damage, Josuke definitely deserves to be in the A category. Almost borderline A+. But power alone, I think Josuke's an A. You think that's fair?
Yeah.
Looking at damage alone, Josuke is an A tier unit. But now, let's move on to the second category, which is
looks.
The visual category. That is correct. In the visual category, we're talking about his animations, his model, his effects, his cosmetics, and all that stuff. So right here, I do have my evoed version of Josuke that you guys can see. Josuke Unbreakable. He does have, I can't even understand his names. There's too many names. Diamond's Unbreakable.
Crazy Diamond?
Crazy Diamond, yeah, you know, the same thing. Very visually accurate to what he looks like in the anime. I'm not gonna lie, visually, not bad. Pretty nice. He does have a weird pink-ish aura that looks a little bit more purple that I kind of don't like with his whole outfit. but I feel like him and his stand look pretty nice. Why don't we go ahead and take a look at what his attacks look like, shall we? So Josuke's attack right there, first of all, boom, there he goes, he attacks. Now, Ethereal pointed it out the first time I saw Josuke that even the unevoed version of Josuke stuns and dismembers the enemies. That is such a cool like little effect animation that he has. Looking at his second animation, he actually does a ton of punches with all the kanji, and then like his like body glows with like all these super cool lighting effects and everything, which I think is really nice. Definitely a nice looking attack, better than Koichi's second attack, I feel personally. The punching is sick and so on and so forth. And then we get the third attack. The third attack, Rock Merge, had so much potential, but it's like, the rock is so ugly.
Wait. Wait. I need to see that again. Is that?
It's the rock from Moria.
Is it?
The town.
Is that Angela? Is that what it's turning into?
Yeah. It's the big rock that...
The Angela rock? No way.
So
that's so sick.
It's a meme, but visually, if you haven't watched JoJo's or you're like me and you forget the anime a lot, it looks so ugly. Literally looks like a piece of poop, but rock colored. But like I said, the first attack animation, the second attack animation looks really, really cool. Josuke looks pretty cool as well, but I think, I don't know, this third one really throws me off for some reason. Like the rocks going into the air looks nice, but when it all comes together, it's just... I think it's time we give the visual ranking to Josuke. What do you say?
Me? I'm a pretty big JoJo fan, so I might be a little biased, but I would give it about a B plus to an A minus.
Yeah, I was actually thinking A minus still. As much as I don't like the rock formation at the end, yes, it's like a reference to the show. It just doesn't look good. That's the only issue. If it looked like a nice polished rock a little bit more, I'd like it so much more. But the first attack animation, the second one where he starts punching them, really, really cool. And the character himself looks pretty nice. Definitely an A quality unit. So honestly, I think, yeah, A minus sounds like a pretty fair ranking for his visuals. And now we're finally at the part where we talk about his uses. I'm just gonna tell you guys right now, Josuke is useful, especially since he's a newer unit. He's more useful than like 75% of the units in AA. Maybe that's a little too high. 65% of the units in AA. Meta relevancy, his stun isn't useful enough. If he was like a hybrid unit, his stun would be insanely useful. If he could hit airs and also stun airs, insanely useful. But I don't know, his cost, like he was saying, is pretty low. So cost to use ratio, damage ratio is nice. I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, he wouldn't really fall under meta. Well, like people tend to like, it's like more of a broader term now. So like, I guess like some people will look at him and be like, he does a lot of damage. Yeah, he's definitely one of the stronger units, but he's not, I wouldn't say he's meta. Meta as in, like, for us at least, is like leaderboard.
Leaderboards or like infinite runs or like most long stages, you know. He's great. He is a great unit for story mode. He's a great unit for the new raid. Is he meta? No. So, that is why I think Josuke in the meta category doesn't need to go too low, but definitely belongs in like B category, D+.
Yeah, I'd give him around there, yeah.
I'm gonna give him the B+ because I'm feeling really nice right now. And that, guys, leads us to Josuke's overall rating, which is gonna be A minus, B plus. A and D plus is basically gonna round him down to an A minus. I think overall, Josuke is a huge damage dealing unit with lots of potential that's wasted. If he was hybrid, if his stun hits airs, if his circle AoE was a little bit bigger, more importantly, if his SPA was lower. If he had a lower SPA, I feel like I would be using him a lot more. But since I have units like Homura, I have units like Stain, who also stun, I don't necessarily need to rely on Josuke. But you guys gotta remember, Josuke unevoed also stuns. So really this is like our thoughts on him, but I think an A minus is pretty good. Just behind Koichi in usefulness, both very good units. The third unit in this category is Kira, the bad guy. And well, you guys can see right here, Kira looks pretty menacing just right here. Ethereal does have Kira equipped. Let's go ahead and start it off with the power category for Kira. Alright, looking at Kira with the DPM list, oh my gosh. Is that the top of the corner that I see?
Huh. Yeah, he's oh boy. He's pretty crazy. Just, you know, one quick glance, you're like, okay, this goes, you know, highest to lowest. Wow, he's, you know, we're not counting Usopp. He's the 4th strongest unit in the game off of just raw damage, which is pretty crazy. For a 3 placement too, so unique, that goes even higher. But almost 300,000 damage with no trait is pretty nuts. On top of having an 8-second SPA, he has a lot of range. And he's a little cheaper than most of these other units. And his DPM is just, it's crazy.
Kira,
6.4 million.
Power-wise, is literally the strongest ground magic unit in the game. But Doflamingo is above him. Doflamingo doesn't have an ability, and Doflamingo is more expensive than Kira. Kira is the strongest ground magic unit in the game. I'm gonna repeat that one more time. Kira is the strongest ground magic unit in the game. His power is absurd. It's literally over 9,000. Yes. I'm probably gonna put the meme on the screen right there. I don't know, Ethereal, go ahead. Let them know, what is Kira's power in terms of his rating?
I think it goes without a doubt, it's at least a solid S. Like, just off the rip.
And we kind of said that he's the strongest ground, so I think he deserves the SS.
And I'm fine with giving that to him.
Kira Bites the Dust is going to be our first SS character in the game for a certain category. Kira's power, SS. It's, as of the day we're recording this video, there is no better ground magic unit in the game than Kira. Moving on to the visual aspect of Kira. Let's take a look at my unevoed Kira real quick. So unevoed Kira looks pretty good. He looks pretty menacing. You know, he's got the blonde hair. He does have his stand right behind him. And then we take a look at yours. Oh my gosh. You know how I was talking about Josuke's pink aura, how it doesn't fit with him?
Yeah.
This works. This looks sick.
He's so nice.
Visually appealing. I wish he had a cosmetic. I wish he was a secret unit or a limited unit, but he isn't. But he looks so cool. Now let's go ahead and take a look at him and his attacks in action and see what his animations look like. First attack, he plants a bomb into the ground right there, as you guys can see. Pretty standard. Bomb looks nice though. It explodes in a nice manner. It's weird to say. And then it has like a little bit of the kanji on there. Second attack, he gets the drone and it explodes into the nicest graphic I've seen in AA.
Literally. Like, it's so high quality.
It's like, the quality on my video is bad, but the quality on that graphic is so high. It's in like 8K that it is insane. And then there's even skulls that explode from that little skull thing that shows up, guys. It is absurd. Probably one of my favorite graphics in AA. Not gonna lie. Next upgrade, he gets Stray Cat. This is the 3rd upgrade that he gets. And Stray Cat, I think, if I remember correctly, is also really cool. Okay, no. Stray Cat is what lets me down. It's the triple. I think you're a huge fan. You're gonna be biased by Stray Cat a little bit more than I am, but like you can't compare the 2nd attack to Stray Cat. You can't.
Yeah, sheer heart attack is definitely better looking. The only thing I will say that is like cool is that if you go back in the video and you see when Stray Cat actually comes out, you see Killer Queen's stomach open and then it shoots out, which is like, I don't even know how they do that. That's like so sick.
Here?
It's when like you like the upgrade gets bought for the first time.
Oh, right here. Okay.
You do like a front view.
This animation's insane. I don't know. Like I still think it can't compare to that 2nd animation, but it's still cool. It's not the worst thing. There it is. Comes out of his abdomen, like you're saying. Looks pretty nice. Now we got the triple detonation. That is his last attack effect, and they did it. They have made a visually appealing unit. And I'm not even a huge Kira fan. I hardly like knew much about this guy. But after watching these animations here, I'm a fan and I want to know more about Kira. I want to know about like this ability. Now I've already seen the JoJo's show part 4. I just can't remember everything, guys. Sorry, I have short-term memory loss and long-term memory loss. But the animations themselves, the visuals, I think we can both agree that Kira deserves. Should I give him the SS visual? I'm just being, I don't know. I think, you know. Ooh, we got an ad.
I think
he does deserve SS.
He has an active ability, which not many units do, and it triggers a cutscene that looks pretty crazy.
Here it comes. Ready? Here's Bites the Dust. He's so high quality, too. I take back my S+ comment, guys. Here's Bites the Dust. You ready? So he does his attack animation, and then we get Bites the Dust. Look at that. That's crazy.
You get the eye of Killer Queen, and he gets sucked into it. It is so sick.
Yeah, you're right. He deserves an SS. Visually, Kira, SS. 2 for 2 on our SS scale, which is absolutely crazy and shocking, but not shocking. Ethereal was saying Kira is going to be hype, and you know what? Kira so far has been nothing but hype. But now we got to get into the last category, the use category. The use category. Ethereal, make it short and sweet to them. Give it to them.
All right. Meta relevance.
Yes.
Very meta. A note that I would add, I've been told this from a couple different people, but apparently, his ability is full map rewind, which is just like a better Lulu. It has a 1-minute cooldown, but you can only rewind the same enemy 3 times. So it's not infinite spammable, but, I feel like if you have to rewind 3 times on a unit and you can't kill it, it's probably GG's. But that's like the only I guess you could say con is that you can't rewind the same unit over and over and over again. You can only do that 3 times. But overall, yeah, very meta. He's very strong. Infinite versus story mode.
All the above.
You can use him in anything. He does so much damage. He is a bit more expensive, so it's kinda
leaning more towards the infinite.
Yeah, but overall, any meta mythical is crazy in story, so you don't have to worry about that. Cost to use, his damage stays pretty consistent with the amount of yen you're spending. So I think overall it's pretty good. And I would give it. Oh, what are you thinking? Because
I'm gonna be nice.
I think
he
it's
deserves
S.
it. Oh, you thinking S?
I'm thinking S.
In total meta relevancy. Okay.
Because he does good damage, you know. But
I see. You're comparing him to Ainz.
You gotta put him in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
His ability is really good. You know, he does good damage, and you know he's just good overall. But is his presence completely meta defining? No.
Especially without unique.
Exactly.
I
With
see.
unique, he's a monster. But even then,
Even
he
without
doesn't
unique,
have,
he's a monster.
Yeah, he doesn't have as much presence as someone like Griffith or Ainz.
Yeah.
Those are perfect examples. But he still is pretty strong. I would say him and Law are will fall into the same area. So I think an S.
An
you know,
S.
It's above average. It's definitely high meta.
So there it is.
I think an S.
Kira deserves an S. Which leads us to the final category, the overall rating. Kira is S+.
Took the words out of my mouth.
Kira is S+. There is 3 to 4 characters that would maybe rank above Kira that would belong in the SS category, and we want to keep that SS category exclusive. Kira is literally like climbing the fence to get into the SS club. There's just no better way to put it. Kira is a monster. If you have Kira and you've evolved him, you have an insanely good overall unit. Which is kind of shocking that AA gave us another decently good unit. Definitely going to change the metas for some tournament runs. Definitely going to change the metas for infinite runs. Kira is absolutely amazing, which is why he gets the S+. Last but not least, we've moved on to Rohan. Now, Ethereal and I have done over like 30 to 40 runs combined, and we still don't have a Rohan. So, yeah, we're just going to have to rely on our video and everything here. But, of course, let's go ahead and start into the power category. Rohan ranks at number 37 on our DPN list for group DPN. That number 37 fits in with like the whole cluster of like the main crew of units, from like Roshi and Vegeta to, I don't know, like Haradel and like Avdol. Like the numbers at this point all kind of get intertwined. His power though is so inconsistent, and it's honestly kind of low. 97,000 at level 100. A 6-second SPA is great, but oh my gosh. That right there ruins him.
Yeah, that's...
An AoE of 6 is literally, I think Uryu has an AoE of 6 if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right. I think it is 6.
Yeah, I think it's literally Uryu. And if you guys remember, Uryu back in the day was really... Oh, it's 7. Uryu has a better AoE than this guy. Ooh.
And Uryu came out over a year ago.
That's crazy, yeah. Like, Rohan does more damage than Uryu, so of course Rohan is better. And Rohan is still in the top 50 units in the game. Top 40 even. He does even more damage than Gyutaro, technically. But... I don't know. If we gave Koichi a B+, I'm going to go ahead and give Rohan a B+ as well. It's just,
yeah.
He's fine. He does damage. But then again, most units nowadays do damage. So Rohan can get a B+ on his power category. Going back to the visual segment of Rohan. Now, like I said, we don't have a Rohan here, but let's take a quick peek over here at the videos. So Rohan's character model with his stand, I actually kind of like. I kind of like how his stand looks. I like the little hat that's drawn. I like the green aura that it emits. I genuinely like it. I think I just like the color green. His first attack animation, on the other hand, it's okay.
Yeah, it's just some kanji in black and white.
It's black and white kanji. It's an ink. You know, it's cool. The second attack animation, once again black and white. It's a stand going up and punching. Not as cool as like Josuke's stand punching, but look, like visually the stand looks really nice. I think the stand looks better than Rohan, which is expected. You know, it's more intricate, but at the same time, it's good. You know, it's not amazing. Second attack looks okay. Let's go ahead and skip to rewrite. Rewrite's the part where he has so much potential, but that's literally, who has that first attack? Isn't that Koichi's first attack? Except it's not all green.
Yeah, I just realized it pretty much stayed the same the entire time.
Yeah, it's so mid. It's just that now instead of it being black and white, there's colors. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm not a fan of Rohan's cosmetic. Actually, I lied. I don't know what his cosmetic looks like. Not a fan of his attack animation. I like the kanji, don't get me wrong. It's just repetitive to what the other units are already doing. The character and his stand looks good, but I'm not gonna lie, overall, visually, Rohan, I'm only gonna give him a B+ because of the fact that he is gonna get a cosmetic. Not even a B+. What am I talking about? A B-. No, not even a B-. You know what? No, I'm sorry. I take it all back. Rohan gets a D.
Oh.
We gave Koichi a C+. Rohan's getting a D. I don't like it.
I agree. I think it's pretty mid.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Rohan. A lot of you guys are probably big fans of Rohan's out there, but they could have done more with Rohan, I feel like. They could have made the ink splash, you know, they could have made like, I think it's the fact that his AoE is just 6 that makes it look so bad, honestly. But yeah, I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna give Rohan a D+. Final choice right there. D+ for Rohan's visual category. And now finally the last part, well, the second to last part, the use. Meta relevancy, I'm just gonna straight up tell you guys, Rohan is not meta relevant. He does have the ability to knock back and stun and freeze and burn and push back and this and that and bleed, but it's not consistent. The consistency is key when it comes to using a certain unit for their ability, and if Rohan isn't gonna slow every attack, if Rohan isn't gonna push back every attack, if Rohan isn't gonna slow and like freeze and bleed every attack, it's really hard to use that unit in like, let's say, a leaderboard run. Now let's talk about story mode on the other hand. Rohan is so cheap to max out. So cheap. I think it's like less than 50,000 to max out a Rohan, which is great for story mode. Rohan's really cheap to max out. Rohan's really difficult to attain though. So his use is good for story. I would even maybe consider using him in the raids just because he gets an extra 50% damage. But yeah, I mean, his meta relevancy is not it. His cost is good. His value, not so much. Overall, where does he belong in?
Overall, I think B.
Like flat B?
I think B.
I'm minus, because Josuke is B+.
Yeah.
Rohan, in his value-wise, is a B- unit. He's better than a lot of other units. He does a lot of damage. He does more damage than like 130 units, but it's not enough damage to make him meta relevant. And honestly, his abilities, although they're great, they're not consistent enough to make him insane. That leads us into our final ranking for Rohan, his overall category. I don't know. This one sucks.
Yeah,
this one's hard. We're not gonna weigh the visuals too much on Rohan, which means B+, B-. Rohan gets a B.
I think a B to B- is fair.
Yeah. So Rohan, the secret limited unit, which will give you a cosmetic if you get him, ends in the B/B- category. And honestly, it kind of sucks. We were expecting great things from the great manga artist, but unfortunately, it did not come to be. Anyways, that's it for this first video of our Is It Worth It series. If you guys did enjoy it, of course, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, let us know what we can do a little differently to change this up for the next time. But for now, that's it. We're gonna go to sleep because it's very late in the morning. We've been at this for a while. I hope you guys like this. We'll see you later. Reese's Pieces. Bye!